Hi, welcome back. Easy piece today. We're making the rear wheel here of the plane. Very simple piece on the lathe, and it is part number 10 on the drawings. Just going to zoom out a little on that. So we have, from the drawing we can see we have a 20mm bar or circle, and it has to be 4mm thick with a 3.5mm hole drilled through the centre. Right, so let's get on with it. So I have here a 20mm bar of aluminium. I've already measured that, I know it's 20mm. So the very first thing we're going to do is put it into the chuck and centre it. Don't forget, on the lathe, always wear goggles. And a good rule of thumb, never leave out of the chuck more than 3 times the diameter in length. So we know this is 20, so you shouldn't have anything more than 60. That's probably the max you should have out. We don't need that, so we're going to leave it about 30mm sticking out. First step is to First step is to just face off the lathe or the end of the bar and make it nice and smooth. Okay, so that's a lovely job done there. Now, this is a good time to drill the hole in the centre. Right, a 3.5mm drill bit is very long and narrow. If we just use that straight away up against the spinning bar, it will cause, if it's not exactly on centre, it will cause the bar or the drill bit to move side by side. So what we're going to use first of all is a centre drill. That's short and stubby, so it shouldn't turn to the same extent. So I'm putting that in the chuck now. Nice and tight, and I'm going to bring the tailstock up until it's very close to the end of the bar. So lock the tailstock in position, turn on your lathe and start, and you only need to go in about 1mm. It's as simple as that. We now change out for the 3.5 drill bit, and we're going to drill in about 6mm because we have to take note of the point on the drill bit. So 6mm should give us at least 4mm of proper hole size in the bar. We're going to use the measurements on the barrel there to assess how far we've gone in. So once again, set a number on the barrel close to here so as you can see where you are. Bring your tailstock drill bit right up to where the tip would be touching the bar if you hadn't drilled a hole in the middle of it already. Lock your tailstock in place and we're ready to drill. And keep an eye on your measurements so that you know, so about 6mm. And it's as quick as that for drilling the hole. It's not very deep. Next thing now, we need to change the cutting tool here and put on a parting off tool. So we get our lever, and these tools have already been set up, and with a quick change tool post it is very, very handy. And now we're ready to go parting off. So I'm going to bring the parting off tool in close to the work, almost touching it, and I'm going to use a ruler to set the distance correctly. So a ruler up against the parting off tool, and I'm going to move the ruler, or move the carriage until it is lined up properly. I'm also going to change the speed down a little bit slower. When we had the ordinary cutting tool there, you had a single point doing the cutting. We now have a whole edge on the parting off tool doing the cutting, so we need to go a little bit slower. So I'm going to bring that down to 540. And if you're not sure how to change the speeds on your lathe, ask your teacher or someone who knows, or I'll do a video on this at some other stage. I'm also going to apply a bit of coolant here to the bar, and this is water soluble coolant, so it will actually, or cutting fluid, so it will actually wash off very handily. So again, turn on your machine and then turn the cross slide in slowly. And that's it, we have our part done. Now the piece of metal could be quite hot, so do be careful. If you think you might get burnt, don't pick it up with your bare hands. This one is reasonably cool. So there we go, we have a little bit of a knob stuck up, so we're going to remove that now. I'm actually going to use a pliers just to break it off first of all, and then some emery paper or a file depending on how bad it is. So I'll show you that in the next clip. Alright, so just finishing up this piece, so I'm just going to just clip off this, give it a squeeze with pliers and a little bit of a twist, and most of it has come off. To finish off the last bit then, I have a flat surface here, a bit of polycarbonate, and I'm just going to, with emery paper, just rub it a little bit until we get a smooth surface on the back. It won't take a lot. And we're pretty much, you can actually see, if I can get this to zoom properly, there are a few ridges caused on the surface by the parting off tool as it's going through, and comparing that to the other side, which is very smooth. So I'm going to spend just a little bit more time and try and get those ridges down. So that's pretty much done there. Yeah, that was the same edge that you saw the ridges in a minute ago. When you are doing it, especially if you're doing it on a small piece of, like this, a small piece of emery paper like this, you can only really go one direction. Just turn the piece of metal every so often so that you get it more evenly across there. If you had a bigger piece, a figure of 8 movement like that is much better. I just didn't have anything handy. That's the rear wheel done. So the next day I will be doing the 2 wheels for the main carriage bit. That'll be a bit longer of a video. And that's all the parts that you have drawings for made. And then there's a design part that you have to do. So see you in the next one.